Welcome back. You're now watching the political segment of the weekend show. The Central Bank of Nigeria has stopped the sale of foreign exchange to bureau de change operators in the country, as well as the registration of the new players, which was also halted with immediate effect. The CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, made the announcement at the end of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Abuja on Tuesday. The announcement made by the CBN regarding the regulation of foreign currency has, however, sparked a debate between economists, policy experts, and other Nigerians on social media. On today's episode of The Weekend Show, we'll be taking a look at this, the ban of forex sales to BDC operators by the CBN and its implications. Joining us, we have
Alistair Wilcox. He is the Vice Chairman, ICANN Lagos, who will be joining us virtually. And in the studio, Paul Alaje, an economist. Welcome back to the Weekend Show, Paul.
Thank you so very much for having me, and good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, gentlemen. Let's start with Alistair. Can you hear us clearly? Hello?
Hello, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Yes, we can
yes,
hear
we
you.
can hear
I
you.
can't hear you. I can't hear you.
All right.
Okay, I think it's fine.
Okay. Can you turn down the volume of your TV set? And if you can hear us clearly now, so what's your reaction? What are your perceived implications of this ban? All right, it seems like we're still having some technical issues there. We'll have our director rectify that. So let's come to the studio. Paul, what's your reaction to this ban and what do you believe the perceived implications would be? Because I literally watched the Naira devalue in the parallel markets when this ban was made. So it started as of 12 o'clock, I looked, it was 5.15 to the dollar. Then at 3 o'clock, it was 5.22. Then at 6 o'clock, it was 5.25. And I said, what is going on? So can you speak to us about this?
Okay, so when you talk about the parallel markets, the BDC, because the parallel market can also be classified into two. The official BDC than unofficial BDCs, the ones that are not registered with Central Bank. Unfortunately, 90% of the BDC we have around are not registered with the Central Bank.
Okay.
Central Bank, as the Central Bank governor is saying, because of sharp practices, which is noticeable, because Central Bank has intervened with $5.2 billion in the parallel market without any impact. You want to know what that means? Multiply it by 410 Naira. And anyone watching this morning could do the mathematics. If you are defending a currency with that much and you are not getting any impact, should you continue to do the same thing? Now, this does not mean, which I've made my statement available time and again on this matter, that in the short term, you are going to see a sporadic increase, perhaps to 550, perhaps to 570, perhaps to 600, until the central bank is ready with the DMBs, Deposit Money Bank, which we popularly call commercial bank, until those institutions are ready to make USD available for those that want to do business. And in making this available, it will be with minimal requirements. Now, there is no need for anyone to undo USD physically. It doesn't make sense. Why do you need it? Why do you want to undo it? Why do you want to have dollar cash in your hands? It just does not make sense. I don't need dollar cash in my hand. I could hand dollar from abroad. But you know, in an environment where, and this is very important, where people feel if I buy dollar today, I am expecting Naira to devalue. The danger is this. You are expecting your cost of tire to increase. You are expecting your human hair weave on to increase. You are expecting your suit, your jackets to increase. You know why? Because when it devalues, you do not know that what you have kept is only $100,000, $10,000, $1,000, the case may be. But you are going to go to the same economy to buy. And that increase would affect every other thing that you are buying. So who is gaining, who is losing? At the end of the day, government will come, because we are importing PMS, will come and say pump prices has increased. Guess what? The effect is ubiquitous. We are all going to pay for it. So should CBN have taken this decision? Well, it depends. My position is if they are ready to create a viable alternative that will be without greed of the DMBs, that would be a great one. But if they are not ready and they want to go the fast way, I remember about 4 years ago, I was was in this station to talk about the initial ban of BDC by the central bank. But central bank do not have the political will at that time. It was quickly terminated by forces above central bank. But the good news about this ban is that the forces are the one behind the central bank to say terminate sales by the BDC. Now, let me also make this clear. BDC will still be able to access FX, although not through CBN, but through DMBs. What that means is, before you can access, you have to bring documentation for accessing such FX. So documentation will be available. Somebody wants to travel, you have right. But the allocation, as you just must collect whether you sell or not on weekly basis or monthly basis, you have right to it. So, and the truth is, a lot of people have lost money. You know, that's the truth. A lot of people have lost money. But we need to look at it. When we imported over 400 billion naira, within 3 months, we spent it on importing only antibiotics. Antibiotics, these are not my figures. National Bureau of Statistics, Q1 report, trade report, 2021. Not COVID vaccine, antibiotics. As if that were not enough. We spent even more to import Okada, motorcycles. We now spent even more to import used vehicles, not new vehicles, used vehicles. What are we talking about?
Okay, so Paul, I'm going to interrupt you because I know Alistair is still on the line, but several points have come up. The BDCs are still allowed to do their business, but it's said that they need to source their funds from other sources. This now creates, in layman terms, a competition between the BDC operators and the customers, you and I, at home, who want access to the same money. And we've seen the currency, the naira to dollar, go from 215 to 500 right now. And so the average man at home is wondering, this still affects me, or every other person is fine. But we'll come back to that. Alistair, what are your thoughts on the new policy affecting BDCs by the CBN?
Thank you. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we
hear
can.
you.
Thank you very much. The issue of the BDCs has been a long time coming. It's been one policy flop, and go forward, go backward. A lot of interest it brings to bear as far as this issue is concerned. My colleague there talked about political will. I hope this time there'll be a real political will to really deal with this situation. By right, BDCs are not supposed to access forex from central bank. There is nowhere in the world that BDC operators have access to accessing forex from the CBN. BDCs are private individuals that deals in individuals that have exchanges of foreign currencies. You get foreign currency from any source, you go to BDC, you exchange. Those who want to buy, they go there, they buy. Less documentation. It's very, very. It's not that of a CBN involvement in terms of supply market. It's a totally private market. But unfortunately in Nigeria, we've had that issue over the time where people now begin to, due to political will, due to all kinds of things, they now want BDCs to be given. That's why it's called proliferation of BDCs. See, I know somebody that has over 40 BDC licenses. Over 40 BDC licenses. And what does they do? Every week, collect the $20,000 given by CBN, and that is all the business they do. They are not sourcing forex from any other source. They just do that business of the $20,000 or whatever that the CBN gives them every week. And so such situation is totally open for abuse. And so going forward, the CBN has banned it before, unbanned it, reban it, unban it. But we can't continue like this because it is a real drain on corruption and poor management of our forex situation. Because they pick up this money from central bank, they give it out at whatever charge they want to give it out, and then they make fake returns to CBN. There are over, I'm sure there are over 10,000 BDCs in Nigeria. If you check across the world, I'm sure Nigeria has the highest number of BDCs. How do central bank police all of them? So even when the genuine ones are doing genuine businesses, the quack ones, and when I say somebody has over 40 BDC licenses, now does that man have genuine intention of running a BDC the way it's supposed to be run? Okay, that's how it's no. It is to pick up the money and then do whatever he wants to do with it and then go away and wait for the next week for the next allocation to come in. So that is the rot we have in the system. And the unfortunate thing is that Nigeria has some of the most unpatriotic citizenry anywhere in the world, because our hands choose to destroy our country, choose to destroy our economy, choose to destroy everything. No matter the policies government put in place, we are only after our own personal interests, and so we don't care. We keep destroying it and destroying. Why is it that it's not in Nigeria that forex is always an issue? Every day you hear CBN, you hear dollar. Go to Cotonou, you don't hear about dollar. You go to Ghana, you don't hear about dollar. They are proud of their currencies. Nobody cares the rate of the dollar or in Cotonou or in Ghana or in other places. But in Nigeria, it's a talking point every day. Because every day, in the list of everybody is talking is dollar. The moment they hear dollar is falling, they will raise price of Gary until the dollar has fallen. So we are destroying the whole system by ourselves with our hands, and at the end of the day, we look for who to blame. So this is a good policy as far as I'm concerned. BDCs should go back to their traditional roles. They are not agents of foreign exchange distribution. They are supposed to source their foreign exchange through their other autonomous market. They are the autonomous markets. That's what they are supposed to be. That's what they play. They are small holders. They collect from me. If I travel and I have money, I go to change with them. If I'm traveling back and I need that small money, I go to change with them. They can do big businesses by getting money abroad. So, but not to get CBN allocation. So I think it's a good policy, and I think the CBN should stick to this time around and sanitize the system.
Thank you, Lester.
Alisa, thank you so much for that insight, because before we had this conversation with you, I mean, we did hear a lot of people hurling insults at the CBN governor, saying, look what you have caused. The Naira keeps on devaluing at the, parallel markets, which is what we have access to. Because when you go through the banks, there's so much procedures and processes, and there are limited amounts of funds that you can get through PTA or BTA, So it's very good that you've been able to shed light on this. But for the implications for we, the citizenry, I was speaking earlier to Paul that I saw the Naira devalue from 505 to 515, then 522, then 525, all in the same day that this policy was made. So how do we sort of juxtapose the negative implications it has to us who want to, purchase, Forex, and also juxtapose that to the negative effects that this also has on the country moving forward?
My dear, I do not share that sentiment. Because I have said it clearly, we have become a lazy, import-dependent country. Everybody wants to import. And what are you importing? Now, my brother talked about importation of used cars, importation of what do you call it? This drug. There's a drug he called
Antibiotics.
Why are we so much about importation? Why are we so much about importation? CBN has made official dollar available for legitimate transactions. Today, the entire market is flooded with imported goods, imported trousers, imported shirts, imported hair, human hair. We want to have everything imported. Go to Broad Street in Lagos. Broad Street used to be a commercial street, a business street. Today it's a market street. And what are they selling? Handbags, shoe, hair, human hair, cosmetics, everything importation. And then we complain. You are not exporting anything, and then you are importing everything. Why would the Naira take a bash? For legitimate transaction, if you want to travel, the CBN has allocated dollar to you. Go to your bank and get official currency to travel. BTA. If you want business, if you want to import things legitimately that the CBN has approved, go to the bank, you get it. But we want to import broom, toothpick, food, everything we want to import. So why would they not take a bash? It's not CBN problem. It's not the government problem. It is because our taste for importation has gone beyond the normal. I just said it. I said, go to Cotonou. Nobody talks about dollar. They are proud of their CFA. Go to Ghana. Nobody talks about dollar. They talk about their CD. Nigeria, nobody talks about naira. We talk about dollar every day. And then we want to import everything. We want to import tomatoes. We want to import toothpick. We want to import rice. Everything we want to import. Why would the naira take a bash? Is it CBN that is depressing the naira?
Thank you so much, Alison.
When as a woman, you don't want to use Nigerian made hair. You want to import bone straight hair, whatever hair.
Oh, you know about the bone straight as well.
What have you imported? What have you exported?
Thank you so much, Alison. That unfortunately,
you get commensurate foreign currency to import. But if you keep importing and not exporting, you are never will take a bash.
We have to bring in Paul here because Paul needs to get in a word. Okay, so Paul, so he blames this on our import culture. I mean, it's not, one policy isn't going to change that overnight. We know the President Muhammadu Buhari administration came into office, you know, speaking about, you know, growing, you know, the naira, growing, buying locally, basically pushing local production, but they haven't really succeeded in doing much in that aspect. What can be done now?
When the foundation be destroyed, what shall the righteous do? You cannot make policy when the fundamentals are not correct. I'm not sure, but this studio may be running on generator. So how would you make policy for production, which is evident in import substitution and export promotion, without adequate power supply? What we need is approximately 100,000 megawatt. What we produce is between 3,500 to 5,000 megawatt. Now, the citizenry have issues, but that is why we chose leaders. The question is, we talked about Nigerian producing everything, which I think should be, but there are no alternatives. What is the made in Nigerian camera that is filming this program right now? Do we have the made in Nigerian for it? That becomes a substitute. So government should see the consuming capacity of Nigeria as an opportunity to provide infrastructure, evidence in power, in rail, and in road. Now, all of these three must come first when you talk of any form of development, before you talk education and health. If not, when you try to provide health and education without power, it will crash. Without rail, it will crash. Without road, it will crash. And check every country in the world. And all the countries I've been to, they sustain their level of education and health. And I'm happy Mr. President said he wants to increase budget on education by 50% at the conference he attended. But how will that be sustainable when there are no powers, when there are no electricity, I beg your pardon, and there is no road, you know, and all of this? Food inflation will keep going on. And Nigeria will still talk about the basic thing of life, food. Very basic. Why countries have gone beyond, they don't even think whether they will consume food or not. So for us as a country, what is so important is government must perform a responsibility. The responsibility of government is to provide adequate level of infrastructure for manufacturers to grow. And I tell you, talking about CBN, which was the question he asked, I imported a machine for production. Processing agro outputs, And I applied to one of the commercial banks some amount of money. When it got to central bank, allocation was 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 2,000. And for 2 months, central bank was still giving USD in trickles. Then the supplier wrote to say the price of this commodity would increase. So that means even before I start the business, imagine if I had borrowed money and I have cash in the account for me to access FX to bring machine. I'm not bringing in clothes. I'm not bringing in toothpick. Machine to produce in Nigeria. Knowing fully well that I have to provide my own 350 kVA generator, 500 transformer by myself. But government has refused to do the needful. And this is it. To crash all of these figures is very easy. If central bank made policy, the minimum requirement is what you need to provide with your commercial bank, and commercial bank are sincere, and if they are not, central bank must be willing to sanction. When that is done, we are going to see a major crash like we saw in 2017. If the policy is brought back, I can tell you the exchange rate will go from 5 whatever it is now to around 420, 430. Then we can say this policy has worked. But if not, it's going to be a policy somersault.
Wow. Paul, Alistair, thank you so much for your time. That's all we have in today's program. Visit our website, tostvnetwork.com, to watch the recap of this episode and all past episodes. Follow us on social media at Weekend Show NG, at TOSTV Network, at Osaso Igbinadion,
At Andy Madaki on all platforms.
We'll see you same time, same place next week. Until then, keep washing your hands, practicing social distancing, and signing up for the Osaso Show Symposium coming up on August 16th. God bless you. Take good care of yourself.